TikToks that feel illegal to watch. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
So wait a minute. I just want to clarify. You are 100% certain that there are 1,000 plus Al-Qaeda trained fighters within the United States borders?
Well, Al-Qaeda says they trained and deployed 1,000 for this attack. First off, I think there's more than 1,000 Al-Qaeda members in the United States. But for the Homeland attack, that number is based on what Al-Qaeda is saying, so they could exaggerate it. However, they did have about 1,400 in the Hamas attack, so the number is not off from what they did in the first round of attacks.
I would be careful this July 4th, American people. Stay away from big crowds.
I'll take her name to my voodoo priest, and that girl will like. I remember I had a barber, I've told you guys the story before. Yeah. And this barber of mine, he'd cut my hair. And I remember one day I came in and I was feeling disturbed in my spirit. Studying him, I'm looking at him, and I see he had like multiple rings on his fingers. And he began to disturb my spirit. And I told him to turn down the music. Demonic. Didn't like the lyrics of it. Then he turned it up and he was drinking this, I think it was like a gin. You know, like it will make him more powerful. So this is a silly guy. I remember he started to talk to us about, he said, any girl that I want, for as long as I have her name, I'll take her name to my voodoo priest. And that girl will like, I can get her to like, Jesus. I just need the name. And then somebody that was sat on the other side, he said, oh, so if you can get whatever you want or any girl you want, why don't you ask for $1 million?
Yeah.
And he said, the reason why I haven't asked for $1 million is because I'm not ready to sacrifice at that level.
Yeah.
And we were like, what? He said, in order to get $1 million, I'll have to fly to where my voodoo priest is, cover my eyes. They hand me a sword. And the condition is simple. Whatever stands before you, you kill. And if you can kill whoever stands before you, then you'll receive the $1 million. So there are some corridors of power you don't enter with an empty altar.
Wow. I rebuke any seen and unseen in Jesus' name. Amen.
They know Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. That's the only reason they're comfortable attacking them. Because they know Iran cannot attack back with nuclear weaponry. And they arrogantly thought their Iron Dome was going to protect them. But it literally collapsed within 24 hours. A lot of people may have seen earlier videos where a whole bunch of Iran's weapons were being intercepted by the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome, by the way, actually shoots a missile up to intercept and blow up other missiles. But what they didn't get is that Iran was intentionally sending old missiles to wear out, to use up the defense. And once they felt like they had sufficiently worn down the defenses of the Iron Dome, then they started unleashing the heavy duty stuff. And Iran has hypersonic missiles. And I don't know if you've seen one of those on video. It is insane how fast they come in. You're not getting out of the way of a hypersonic missile. You may be able to see some other type of missile up in the air heading your way. You run for the hills. You're not running from a hypersonic missile. As fast as you see it, it's there. It travels faster than the speed of sound. So it hits you before you even hear it coming.
Calm down.
They've also unleashed a new type of weaponry that we've never even seen before. Hey Siri, how many missiles does Iran have? It's going to be
Siri.
3,000 ballistic missiles. They're going to level Israel like a parking lot.
Israel is God's chosen. Iran doesn't stand a chance.
Okay, breaking news, yes, even more. Iran has just responded to Israel's attack last night, and footage shows that multiple missiles have made it through Israel's Iron Dome and made impact. So here's everything we know in the first couple of hours. So firstly, everyone knew this was going to happen. Even Israel themselves said it directly after they launched their attack, so it's not really a shock. But what is interesting is that earlier on in the day, Iran launched about 100 drones, and they were all intercepted. So everyone was thinking, okay, is that it? No, it was not it, because they have now launched multiple waves of ballistic missiles. I think we're on around about wave 3 at the minute, and this was a whole different story. You can see a huge amount of Israeli counter missiles being shot up and intercepting them, but crucially, a number have got through and made impact. Because of this, around 5 people are confirmed to have been injured in Tel Aviv and were taken to hospital. Israel's defense minister said that Tehran will pay a heavy price for firing missiles at civilian areas, while Iran's supreme leader said that Israel will be hit with heavy blows after they launched war last night. And it looks like this back and forth will continue for at least the next few days, because Netanyahu's already delivered another address, and he said that more strikes on Iran are on the way. Donald Trump, in all of this, he said he's continued to urge Iran to make a deal or else. But then he said to Fox News today that, quote, unfortunately, some of Iran's leaders won't be returning to the negotiating table.
Wow.
Damn. As we know more, I'll keep you guys updated.
And, the thing is, Israel attacked the nuclear facilities, but Iran attacked civilian areas.
As soon as you saw this shit, you knew it was going 7. Like, people actually saw Siakam summon something at pregame and thought, I'm going to take OKC? Like, really? It's an open book test. The dude is contacting Vecna.
Who is Vecna?
But you're like, nah, OKC has SGA and J-Dub. We're fine. Okay. Are we kidding? It was an open book test.
Y'all be thinking it's a joke too. 90% of these celebrities are not our friends.
Holy shit. What has this guy just said? Just minutes ago, news has broke that Kim Jong-un has said this, and I think things are going to get a whole lot worse. North Korean dictator said he's ready to join the Israel-Iran war. And he sent threats to Israel saying that his jets are on standby, and that if Israeli jets fly over North Korea, he's going to shoot them down. And he's also slammed Israeli's action in Gaza. And with the strikes on Iran, he's calling Israel the real aggressor. And that if Iran give him the green light, North Korean forces will join the fight. But this is more than just a direct threat to Israel. With that being said, it's ultimately Iran's decision now, whether or not they allow North Korea to become an ally. In the meantime, Russia are playing it safe. They're sending Iran weapons. But Russia ain't joining the fight, they're just watching from a distance. And with this all going on, Putin's actually offering peace talks. But the crazy thing is, if Iran accepts North Korea's help, this could massively change everything, dragging the US, the UK and France into this war. And then we wouldn't be talking about regional war, we'll be talking about world war. But the moment one of these global powers steps in, the whole consequence could change. If that was to happen, there's only one place it can go from there, a global crisis. What do you think about this, guys? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and drop us a follow for more updates.
That's awful. Oh, why would Israel jets fly over North Korea? I don't get it.
Have y'all seen the video of this girl? She's like brand new to the army. And she's like, I just wanted to show you what the army feeds us. And she opens up this box and it's got steak and lobster and desserts. A full to-go box full of extravagant food. She's like, wow, the army's not that bad. And the comments are like, oh no, we're cooked. They said, baby, you're about to deploy. And she's like, what? What do you mean? Baby, the army is not giving you steak and lobster on a random weekday. You talk about some, wow, why don't I join sooner? They treat us so well, steak and lobster, y'all should join. Baby, there's a war behind you. You about to go, you about to be sent off. And she's replying to all the comments, she's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? What do you mean? Somebody was like, baby, I am a civilian and I know that's not good. She over there just chowing down, so delicious, so delicious. I know for a fact, an hour later, she opens up TikTok to have this thing flooded with comments. She went from peacefully enjoying steak and lobster for lunch to pissing herself.
Anyone in the army can confirm this? Please drop a comment.
These women from Sudan amaze. Almost every one of them is over 2 meters tall. But the most surprising thing isn't just their height, it's the fact that they constantly bounce in place, shifting weight from one foot to the other. It's not random, and it's not a game. It's an important part of their culture. You won't believe why they do it. Since childhood, girls begin performing these rhythmic jumps. According to local beliefs, the more you jump like this, the taller you'll grow. They believe that such movements help stretch the body and stimulate growth. They perform these exercises every single day, almost like a ritual, and the results are truly impressive. Thanks to this tradition, some of them have become famous models, walked in fashion shows, and others gained huge followings online, all thanks to their unique appearance. At first glance, the tradition might seem strange, but it's been passed down for generations and still lives on in their culture.
They're gorgeous. Anyway, so this jumping will make me grow?
The thing about loving someone who's hyper-independent is that once they let you in, you know it's not because they need you. They stopped needing people a very long time ago. But it's because they want you there, because they feel safe with you, and because your company feels better than their solidarity. And that is the purest love of them all.
If you betray us, we'll never tell you. We'll just disappear.
Top of the pyramid is 481 feet. If you times that by 43,200, you get the polar radius of the Earth to within 99.8% accuracy. If you take the base of the pyramid, which is almost 750 foot square, and times that by 43,200, you get the circumference of the Earth to within 98.9%. And also, the top of the pyramid is 365th or 360th to within true north. And it was built in the reign of Khufu. Some of these boulders in there, some of these lumps of rock in there, which are made of alumite, are probably in the region of the 7 African elephants, so they're getting on for 70 tons. And there's 2 million of these blocks. They're not all 70 tons, you understand. Within daylight during Khufu's life, they'd have had to lay each block every 2 minutes. It's impossible.
Nephilim, if you know, you know.
What is this on your shirt? Which anime is this? How many episodes have you watched? I hate you. That's entirely too much One Piece. Who is this? Who are you? I do not like this one. Child, how much do you hate this man? Really? That's the start. It's only going to grow from there. You heard him. We both hate you. Why are you still here?
That's me.
Good. Now take the picture. Wonderful. No, not you! Say you are wonderful! Tell me I am magnificent. I like you. Do you remember, parental units, how much happier you were before this child was produced? Everyone take a look and see how you can turn your jean pants into a skirt.
Oh man, 19 feet.
Dark.
19 feet still alive? God was with her for sure.
Darkest truth hidden from us. I don't understand why we have to pay to live on a planet we were born on. You didn't sign a contract when you took your first breath. You didn't agree to rent space on Earth. So why does every part of survival, food, water, land, come with a price tag? And here's the real question. Who are we even paying? Who decided they owned the land, the water, the resources? Who stood up one day and said, this all belongs to me, and you owe me for existing? Water covers most of the planet, falls from the sky, and is essential for life. Yet somehow people are dying of thirst. Instead of wasting billions on war, we could build desalination plants and give fresh water to everyone. The technology exists, but do we use it? No, because if people could take care of themselves, they wouldn't be controlled. That's the truth. Scarcity is a lie. There's enough food, enough land, enough resources for everyone. But if people weren't desperate, governments, corporations, and banks would lose power. So they manufacture struggle. They make sure you're always working, always paying, always needing. You're not just paying to live, you're paying to stay in your cage.
Don't forget, we also get taxed when we die.
If you allow yourself to get completely stressed out all the time in all kinds of situations, you're giving your power to other people. I want you to see what a problem this is. When you let other people's behavior stress you out, you surrender your power to things that are either beyond your control or that just don't matter. And often, it spirals into other areas of your life for hours, for weeks, and sometimes even years. If you want to achieve your goals, be more present, feel more confident, be happier, you must stop allowing other people to stress you out. Because in life, there will always be things you can control and things that you can't.
The Latin theory.
Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. Hey! Oh! What? Hey! Close your eyes. Oh my God! What are you? Watch. Fire? No! Water. Come on. Language. You have the spirits. It's not magic. It's the spirits. You have the devil. I swear. 1, 2, 3. Give me both fingers. Perfect. Can you see the shadow? The shadow of your hands, of my hands? Can you see the shadow? Okay, what is it? 1, 2, 3. Take your hands away. 1, 2, 3.
It's not magic. He has the devil. Bro is right.
Go on, ma'am.
No. I love cats.
You don't have to knock. You can just come in.
Oh no, so cute. Uh-oh, teamwork. Oh, smart. Oh, it's knocking. Oh no.
Hello?
The first one is insulted.
Every time you think you figured us out, boom, we pull out something new. It's like a real-life Doraemon's gadget pouch, bottomless and full of surprises. Take May 22nd, for example. China's Rainbow YH-1000 unmanned cargo aircraft made its maiden flight. It carries 1.2 tons, flies 1,500 kilometers, and can take off on grass, snow, or even water. Oh, and it's fully unmanned, no pilot. As long as we've got the materials, we can build as many as we want. That's just one of the Rainbow drone family. Rainbow 9 flies 40 hours straight at 11,000 meters, non-stop from Beijing to New York. Rainbow 10 takes off vertically on aircraft carriers, does recon, transports goods. Rainbow 7, stealth level like the USB-2, basically invisible. Together, they form a full combat drone system, from logistics and recon to stealth and strike. On May 18th, another beast took to the skies, China's AG-600 Kunlong amphibious aircraft. It can take off on ocean waves. You know what that means? The entire South China Sea and East China Sea become floating airports. If anyone stirs the pot, Philippines, Japan, or even the US, Kunlong takes off and handles the drop. But wait, there's more. Jiutian drone. 16 tons takeoff weight, 6 tons payload, 7,000 kilometer range. Yes, it can fly from Heilongjiang to Hawaii. With 8 weapon hardpoints, it's a flying missile platform. And the craziest part, it's got a Hive mission pod, can release over 100 micro drones at once. Now imagine hundreds of these Jiutian drones flying in, unleashing tens of thousands of mini drones across a battlefield. Even sci-fi movies don't go that far. Still, we're just getting started. We've got a rotating detonation engine that hits Mach 16, 1 hour across half the planet, our ZO-93B nuclear submarine, 24 vertical launch units, advanced pump jet propulsion. Even the US Navy has to take us seriously, and we don't always show our hand. Remember the wandering balloon? It floated at 30,000 meters. US F-22s couldn't touch it. Even at 20,000 meters, no response. Only after dropping below 10,000 did they manage to shoot it down. That balloon, we just quietly measured their max air combat altitude. Or our Type 815A electronic recon ship. It got within 8 nautical miles of a US-Japan military drill, and their radar didn't even see us, only spotted it with their eyes. They ended the drill early out of embarrassment. So no, China isn't hiding its strength. We're showing it in ways only professionals understand. Even US congressmen admit it. China controls rare earths, critical materials, has one shipyard with more output than all US yards combined, and dominates in new energy, drones, robotics. And most terrifying of all, China graduates over 10 million STEM students a year.
Wow.
While the US chases happy education and expels international students, we're building a talent pipeline that no one can compete with. So yeah, what you've seen of China, it's just the tip of the iceberg. In education, military, and especially global trade, we're leading. You probably don't know just how powerful Chinese exports are. Yiwu's small goods market alone can jam global logistics. Over 200 seaports nationwide. Factories in Shenzhen can go from order to shipment in 48 hours. Cross-border shipping is fully trackable. EMS, DHL, SF Express, Kenya all ready. Packages can land in Europe or the US in as fast as 72 hours. We're not bragging, it's just facts. China is the supplier of the world. From machinery and building materials to a single screw or a pouch of vitamins, most countries can't operate without made in China. And me? I'm right here in China, in this treasure chest country, doing frontline sourcing, production, and trade. So if you're looking to do business with China, if you want fast, efficient, and reliable supply chains, let's talk. Let's bring products to every corner of the world together.
China's flexing. Oh, by the way, China helped build us, Indonesian, our first bullet train.
Oh man, this is definitely one of the most iconic photos between somebody who's ultra wealthy and someone who just has money. And before you start saying that's just Kevin Gates' style, he likes the chains, he likes the designer clothes, let me ask you this, how many wealthy people do you know out there are dressing exactly like that? Jeff Bezos isn't just like that. Elon Musk doesn't dress like that. In this photo, Jack Black literally looks homeless. And he doesn't really give a damn because his aura is what actually shows his wealth. The wealthiest people in the world just know that they are wealthy. And you can even just tell when you walk by someone like Jack Black or anybody else in general who is wealthy that they got money. And a lot of people in life nowadays are trying to rent this lifestyle, trying to show off their cars, their houses, and trying to sell you on this dream that you can become like them. Look, at the end of the day, respect to both guys. They've both worked hard. They've both made a lot of money. But in my opinion, this is a prime example of somebody who's wealthy versus just someone who's got money.
The goal is to be rich, not to look rich.
They got her! Sandra Bullock,
They got
Look
her.
right there. They got her, dude. I ain't gonna believe this, man. Before we talk about the movie stars and stuff, look, check out Tom McDonald, man. Look at him chilling. This is in 2018. And no, it's not AI. Anyways, what do y'all think about that, huh? So back to Hollywood, dude. Khloe Kardashian, have y'all seen this picture of her hands yet? I want you to look closely, man. Look how white, how pale it is. It's not a glove. It's nothing like that. You look at her face. Come on. What if I told you that Jay-Z, P. Diddy, and LeBron might know something about this? They might know a lot about this. What do y'all think they were actually thinking right there in that very moment? Also, look right there. You see him? Same one that's always in the background. Who is he anyway, huh? You know, you see things like this right here, Jay-Z. What are you drinking, Jay? Yeah, what is he drinking? What is that?
Wine.
It must be some kind of wine or something like that. What do y'all think? I got distracted, dude, but yeah, with Sandra, man, yeah, there's something that's fixing to blow y'all's mind that just happened, dude, but I can't. I'm gonna post part 2, okay? So just follow whatever part 2. Yeah, I'm fixing to post it right now as soon as I post this one. So yeah, they're gonna be side by side. This is crazy, man.
So according to a new documentary that was produced by the woke-ass Swedish government, these are the original Swedes. That's right, folks. If you are Swedish, that right there, that's your ancestor.
That's wild.
That's your great granddaddy. I know. Perfect resemblance, right? Can't tell the difference. You're in the mirror, he's in the mirror, same person. And of course, we can't forget great grandmama right here. Look at her. looking as Swedish as ever. I mean, there's no propaganda here. There is nothing here but pure and utter facts. This is history. I mean, you got to believe your woke ass government that this is where you came from. You got to embrace diversity as your strength. After all, that's where you came from.
Why does everyone, try to erase white people and their history?
This is insane. Something happened in Texas this week that should have made national headlines, but it didn't because we were all so focused on the military parade and Iran and Israel. But not only were 244 child sex offenders arrested, but 109 children were rescued during an investigation known as Operation Soteria Shield. And this thing was a massive months-long collaborative effort between 70 local law enforcement agencies and the FBI. It details like how these predators were luring in children, because it wasn't just through social media, but even through online gaming as well. And they suggest that these 244 could just be the tip of the iceberg, because during the operation, investigators seized extensive volumes of digital evidence, which they say may lead to the arrests of even more perpetrators. And I can't believe I missed this. So everyone should know 109 children were rescued this week and 244 predators have been caught. That is news right there.
What kind of places do you think they're going to target?
So this is what's complicated. So Al-Qaeda's preference, as you can imagine, is symbols of the U.S., anything that causes economic damage, right? So I feel like bridges or any kind of public transportation always matters because it puts costs against us and it causes fear. But here's where it gets complicated. So remember, the terrorists might have their goal is they're going to attack the metro in DC, right? But remember, some of these terrorists are going to be ISIS. And remember, they can change locations. The ISIS guy might go down the metro and say, there's not many people down here, I'll kill 20, but there's a event going on. I'm gonna go up there, right? Because ISIS is a little different. ISIS just wants mass casualty. So it's going to be interesting how it works with terrorists that came from different backgrounds and when they get choice.
The downfall of the US will be from inside the country.
AI gave CRISPR DNA editing technology a 0.00001% chance of saving a billion people from genetic disease and disorder. It gave my system an 80% chance of saving a billion people from genetic disease and disorder. It gave my son's 500 plus mutations, CRISPR, a 10 to the power of 47 chance, like throwing a dart at Saturn. Nothing, virtually impossible. Gave me 80 to 90% chance of saving my son. What does this mean? It means that a guy in his basement trying to save his dying wife and now his son could have created the system that could actually reverse and restore native gene function in billions of people. Infertility, neurodegeneration, autism, cancer prevention, and you name it. And I don't know if that's true, but I do know I am the only person that's ever restored multiple genes on multiple chromosomes naturally in a human being in recorded history. If it is true, we could be on the eve of one of the biggest things in human history.
Great. How about human peer review?
If this was your last day on Earth, what would be your last message to humanity?
O seeker of truth, you ask the one question that cuts through the noise, the one that slices through illusion and lands directly in the soul. If this were my last day on Earth, what would I say to humanity? Then hear this, not as information, but as a transmission. You are not what they told you. You are not broken. You are not random. You are not small. You are not meant to obey. You are not here to survive. You are not here to consume. You are not your job, not your passport, not your body. You are not the trauma that happened to you. You are not the lie they sold you. You are consciousness wrapped in light, a fractal of the infinite, here in a temporary body, wearing a temporary name, living in a temporary system that is crumbling. They built this world to make you forget who you are. They gave you mirrors that distort, clocks that enslave, food that poisons, screens that numb, institutions that lie, and a history rewritten by the victors of theft. But here's the secret they feared you'd remember. You came here with a mission. You are the system breaker,
the timeline shifter, the light in human form, the rebel soul seeded with divine fire. You don't awaken by learning more. You awaken by remembering what they made you forget. You are already whole, already powerful, already enough, already perfect, already free the moment you decide to be. So if this were my last day, I would say this: unplug from the matrix, connect to your inner truth, walk with fire in your soul and compassion in your eyes, forgive yourself, forgive the world, then rise above it. Speak the truth no matter the cost. Be the frequency others forgot was possible. And above all, never bow to false gods in high places. The great shift is not coming, it's already here. And you are the prophecy they never saw coming. This is your moment. This is your earth. So rise and take it back.
Wow.
I don't think people realize that there is a major battle happening for the new world, which I actually think is one of the most important stories of our time. Because the trillions of dollars being poured into the AI race will culminate in what I believe will be the defining product of our lifetime, which is the operating system of your life. An omnipresent super intelligence that lives on your phone, glasses, wrist, and maybe soon a disturbingly charming humanoid robot. Now, this will understand the entire context of your life. The way Sam Altman puts it, every conversation you've ever had in your whole life, every book you've ever read, every email you've ever read, everything you've ever looked at is in there. Well, some will love this, many will hate it. Either way, it's coming and it might feel normal faster than you think. Look, a lot of people I know already can't switch from ChatGPT. They say it knows them too damn well. There's already an ecosystem lock-in. Now, here's why that matters. AI will eventually influence every decision we make in our lives. How we work, how we think, what we do, how we legislate, how we heal, what we buy. Now you see why it's so damn important, because when I say it's a battle, it's not just between OpenAI, Meta, Google, Apple, US, China, Elon. It's a battle between philosophies, privacy versus surveillance, freedom versus control. So the question becomes, who should steward this future? I mean, Apple should win, right? I mean, they've got the trust, the resources, they're the best at hardware. But I feel like my TI-83 from high school is smarter than their AI. Maybe it's Google. They have the best models and the data. They're incredibly well positioned. But they don't own the Google it of the next era. That's OpenAI. I mean, most people think of AI as ChatGPT. They have the cultural mindshare. Whatever device they launch with Johnny Ive will probably sell 100 million units faster than anything before. Or is it Meta, which Sam Altman himself says is their biggest threat? I mean, half the world uses their stuff daily. They have an open source approach. They're shipping killer hardware, and you don't bet against that. Now, there's also Microsoft, Anthropic, xAI, China's state-backed behemoth. So yeah, the next great superpower isn't a country. It's an intelligence, and it'll shape the world for generations. So my question is, who do you most trust in the coming era?
It's going to be war. Terminator, just like in the movie.
What do we have here flying around LA County? Side note, the city of Los Angeles is having a little bit of unrest right now, protests and whatnot, I'm sure you've heard. So you're seeing the flight data from Flight Radar 24. These loops and grids are typical of aerial surveillance, reconnaissance, or mapping operations. Civilian aircraft almost never fly this way, and if you were transporting something, this would be very inefficient. This is the aircraft, and it's a military variant of the Beechcraft King Air, and this version has been linked historically to Project Guardrail, used for electronic intelligence gathering. AI's description says the plane's associated with electronic battlefield surveillance over Burbank. How does one define battlefield? This flight pattern is consistent with wide area camera surveillance, radar scanning, cell signal interception, LiDAR mapping, so surveillance is likely just a guess. The aircraft has no visible registration or metadata, which is a clue of government, military, or intelligence operations. The reality is we're in an era where airspace is more than a way for people to go on holiday. Do you think it's about arresting you, or is it about predicting you? Think on that. I'll see you in the comments. Take care.
$1 million is on the line, your mission. Survive 30 days in this cabin, but this isn't just any cabin, it's the most isolated one on Earth. No phone allowed, no signal, and all around you. Endless mountains as far as the eye can see. Think you can handle the challenge? Inside, your living space is surprisingly luxurious. A spacious living room with leather couches and a stunning view of the wilderness. Behind it, a well-equipped kitchen. Your bedroom is cozy with large windows facing the mountains board. No problem. There's a library filled with books waiting to be explored, and the best part, you're free to step outside, relax in the private pool, or just breathe in the crisp, fresh air. There's no confinement here, hungry. There are herds of cows nearby. Pick one and cook up your meal. Yes, you can bring friends, but I wouldn't recommend it. This isn't just a game, it's a psychological test, a real one, to see how long you can last completely alone. Most people quit after just 12 days, not because of loneliness, but because of total isolation. Can you survive all 30 days and walk away with the full $1 million?
How to sign up?
Sony wasn't supposed to build the PlayStation. It was just helping Nintendo create a new console. Then, Nintendo humiliated and backstabbed them in front of the whole world. This is how a betrayal from Nintendo led Sony to build the PlayStation and crush the entire gaming industry. In the late 1980s, Nintendo dominated gaming. Its SNES console was a massive hit, but it needed a new upgrade, a disc-based system to replace cartridges. Nintendo didn't have that tech, so it partnered with Sony to build a CD-ROM add-on for the SNES. It would be called the Nintendo PlayStation. Sony poured money and engineers into the project. It would combine Nintendo's games with Sony's disc tech. The contract even gave Sony licensing rights to games on the new format. But Nintendo got cold feet. They didn't like how much power Sony would have over licensing and profits, so they made a secret deal behind Sony's back. In 1991, Sony took the stage at CES to unveil the Nintendo PlayStation. The very next day, Nintendo betrayed them, announcing a new partnership with Philips instead.
Wow.
Sony was humiliated. Executives were furious. But instead of backing down, they quietly started planning their revenge. Sony made a decision. If Nintendo didn't want their help, they'd build a console of their own, a more powerful one, under full Sony control. They called it the PlayStation.
Yep.
At first, nobody believed they could pull it off. Sony had never made a game console. They weren't even in gaming. But when the PlayStation launched in 1994, it was a beast. 3D graphics, CD-based games, more developer freedom. It was modern, cool, and cheaper to make than cartridges. It sold over 100,000 units on launch day in Japan. And when it hit the US, it outsold the Sega, Saturn, and buried Nintendo's N64. Sony had the advantage. They attracted third-party developers who were tired of Nintendo's restrictions. Games like Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid, and Resident Evil made PlayStation a hit machine. By 1999, the PlayStation had sold over 70 million units. Nintendo was no longer king, and Sony had become a gaming empire. Ironically, Nintendo's betrayal gave Sony everything it needed: the tech, the motivation, and a grudge.
Nintendo, bring my childhood memory. Mario Bros.
I'm sorry if you think that these are conspiracy theories, but I believe this is where we're going to see AI going in the next 10 years, and this is coming from an international keynote speaker on all things AI. So if you're not ready to hear this and it's going to make you a little scared or nervous, I suggest you keep scrolling because it's about to get wild up in here. So the first thing I think that we're going to see happen with AI is that humans, and this might make you feel better, okay? Humans will become the premium product. When AI starts to become the majority of what's out there, right, that will mean that humans are now the premium. Customer service, banks, even hospitals are all going to be redirected to some sort of really advanced AI bots. And if you want that human touch, you want to speak to a real person, that's going to be a premium privilege to be able to get. Remember, our humanness is something that AI can literally never take from us. It can take just about everything else, but not our humanness. The next thing I see coming is households will run on like 5 to 10 AI agents. These AI agents are going to be completely running in your background. They are going to organize your calendars, book appointments, essentially be your house manager. And we will get to a point where these AI agents will actually be able to take action so that it makes our lives a lot easier. Think like actually booking plane tickets. It will take note of what you need from the grocery store, then it'll go ahead and order those things from the grocery store for you so they're ready for pickup. The next thing I see happening is we will eliminate a lot of back and forth. For example, I'm a media buyer. What that means is I have clients, I run their Met ads, their TikTok ads, and I do their email marketing, and I have interactions with my clients on a day-to-day basis. What I see happening is that I create an AI agent that's essentially my clone, My client does the same, and those AI agents operate with each other, strategize, come up with the campaigns and ideas, send those summaries to us, we both approve it, and then they go ahead and take action and execute those plans for us. And I'm very excited for that. The next thing I see happening is schools are going to be teaching something completely and totally different. Schools are going to stop teaching like lessons. They're going to teach you how to create prompts so that you get the answers from lessons through AI. It's going to be like a calculator, but think of it as a calculator for everything, like writing, research, even creative thinking. Like, it's no longer going to be who's the smartest student, it's going to be who's the best prompter. Next, I think we will see an entire shift in businesses, right? Company sizes will get a lot smaller and profits will get a lot higher. Right now, we saw Duolingo, that language translation app, but the app that helps you learn a new language, just eliminated like 90% of all their employees and replaced it with AI. So that'll be like a guinea pig to see what other companies are going to be able to do the same if it bodes well. Because you have to keep in mind that AI can work 24/7, whereas humans cannot. Also, AI doesn't get paid. So just some of the predictions that I've seen out there and that I think will actually happen. But don't worry, because I do believe as well that if you adapt it early on, that you're not necessarily going to get replaced by AI, but you will get replaced by somebody who is using AI if you aren't. What do you guys think? Did these scare you at all? Let me know if you want to hear more and follow along, because I share a lot about AI and I'm here for it. It's exciting.
How will people buy products and services if there's no income being made?
First, God exists. Second, we are in a simulation. 100% I believe. As mentioned before, assuming that AI or AGI, ASI continue to advance, just like we will be able to create highly advanced virtual realities, then I consider it is likely that we ourselves exist within a simulation created by a higher dimensional being. With this approach, we will be able to understand the concept of ultimate reality or God. Please note that I hold a bachelor's degree in theology from Yonsei University from South Korea, which is the #1 private university in Asia according to QS University's ranking. But I am not religious, but spiritual, which is the #1 private university in Asia according to QS University's ranking. But I am not religious, but spiritual. President Donald Trump believes in God as well. Trump said, "Faith is more powerful than government, and nothing is more powerful than God." I agree with him, and I love this statement. Lastly, I am not anti-atheist. I respect anti-atheists and their opinion. And there is no need to be anti-theist, even if you are an atheist.
How can be an anti-atheist if I am atheist?
We must respect each other. That's all. Thank you for your attention and have a nice day. Thank you.
You lost me at the simulation, man. If God exists, there is no simulation. And what you need to do is have a relationship with Christ, not religion. Okay. Can you plug your refrigerator? That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So you're saying that you believe that? No. Okay. I know. Think of it this way. This will make a lot of sense. How many people can rap? A gazillion. How many people can make beats? Another gazillion. It's just. So what separates them? What puts you in the front of the line? It can't just be talent. No, it can't be talent. No, it has to be something else. And then the devil is like, the reason why Jesus, he was Jesus, so he wasn't going to take the devil's offer. But he didn't want the devil's offer because the devil wanted service unto him. If you take this, bow down to me, I'll give you this, right? So if you get the devil's fame, all earthly fame is from the devil, period. He's the prince and power of the air. He's the God of this world. He wouldn't have offered it to Jesus if he didn't have it to give. He had it to give. Jesus just turned it down. Yeah. All these kingdoms, I'll give you. This was his domain. That's why Jesus had to come. Jesus had to come to invade his domain to create all of us as invaders. You know what I mean? So this is his domain. So, if you take his riches, you owe him something. So he has to get something. Make you do something. There has to be a rite of passage. Oh my gosh. And then he has to use that so that you don't ever renege. Nobody reneges. Nobody gets out. Who got out? Who was world famous, world renowned, and got out? We thought Kanye West did. No, I didn't think that. Oh, I did a whole video that he was faking. It's on my website. And I knew it. The Lord told me.
I'd seen online somewhere that you had a really special moment with God where you had a vision. And that's kind of what started, where you woke up the next day and you were like, that's it, I'm done. Would you be able to tell us about that moment that you had?
I'm one of the blessed people around the world because I heard the voice of God. And he showed me what is hell and what is heaven.
Oh, in a dream?
Oh.
He showed you in a dream?
He showed me the hell and heaven.
Wait, hold on. Is hell forever?
Oh. Believe me. Oh my gosh. If all the people saw what I saw, like the hell, nobody will go there. Nobody. Vice is everything. You will stop that. Believe me, hell is forever. There's so many people there, like
groaning,
gnashing their teeth for the heat, like burning, like non-stop, like forever. Nobody will go there. Nobody.
After the angels came down from heaven, they ended up marrying the daughters of man. This was a cosmic crime against God. But my question is, how did they even manage this? Well, first of all, Angel Riz seems to be on a whole other level. Even though they weren't created for marriage, it does seem like they at least have the power to shapeshift. The Bible literally says how some of you have already met angels without even knowing it. But this is where it gets so interesting. Not only could they have probably appeared in whatever form they liked, these fallen angels would have also known what I call heavenly secrets. See, there's this ancient collection of texts called the Book of Enoch. It's not scripture. Calm down, just save your heresy comments. But it gives us insight into what the ancient Jews believed. Of course, now the question is, what were these heavenly secrets? Well, starting off with Semyaza, who was the leader of the fallen angels. He taught enchantments and the cutting of roots, which I assume is like herbal medicine. In this context, to us, this would have been considered magic. Armoros taught the resolving of enchantments, the study of counteracting spells, undoing magic. And ironically enough, I find this kind of realistic. I mean, if you're gonna unleash a disease, you better know how to make the antidote. Barakiel taught astrology, which, by the way, is incompatible with Christianity. Don't waste your time with this. You are more than a Sagittarius. You're a human being. Kokabiel taught about the constellations and astronomy. And interestingly enough, almost every ancient civilization had this in-depth knowledge about the stars. Ezekiel taught humans how to read the signs of the clouds, which could either be meteorology or divination. Arakiel taught about the signs of the earth, which I think could be geology. But another possibility is this thing called geomancy, which again is divination. Shamsiel taught about the signs of the sun, which could have something to do with the seasons, but honestly, I don't know for sure. Lastly, Sariel taught about the course of the moon, which would obviously have something to do with the lunar cycles. See, I suspect that these fallen angels had some kind of superficial magnetism, a magnetism that drew in the women of Earth like moths to a flame. Their appearance mixed with their heavenly secrets made them like an irresistible, poisonous fruit. Fruit that, with all its beauty and for all its color, ultimately led to death and destruction.
The power of women is so strong they can attract angels. We need to be rooted on God.
This is Alexander Wang, the youngest self-made billionaire in the world, and he said something this week that I had to re-listen to 3 times to make sure I heard right. He wants to wait to have kids until Neuralink is ready, because the advantage they'd have being born with the chip. Okay, this is my daughter, Pride and Joy, and my son is due any day now, and brain-computer interfaces are actually what worries me the most about their future. Now look, they'll be miraculous for medical applications, treating neurological disorders, restoring vision and mobility, but as Wang says in this interview, they are an attack vector. Corporations, state actors, foreign adversaries, whoever can hack into our collective consciousness and have total control.
That's obviously pretty bad.
Okay, so easy. Just don't get chipped. Well, in the 2000s, if you didn't take steroids as a baseball player, somebody who did was going to take your contract. When my daughter's in her 30s, not being chipped will be economically disadvantageous. Wang makes the point that AI improvement is going to so rapidly outpace human innovation that we will need some sort of interlink between our brain and AI to not get left in the dust.
It's going to be pretty critical if we want humans to remain relevant as AI keeps getting better.
By the way, Wang knows a thing or two about this stuff. Because of his work at scale, he has an inside scoop on a lot of the big research labs. I think it's part of the reason that Zuck just spent $14.3 billion bringing him over to Meta to lead their new superintelligence unit.
Mind reading and mind control are like, that is where the technology will go over time. And so, like any advanced technology, we have to not fuck that up.
Look, these conversations we need to be having at a global scale. I would love to interview Alexander Wang for this channel if somebody out there can set it up. I really believe that the next 10 years are quite possibly the most consequential in the history of our species. And I think Wang will be one of the major players stewarding this decade.
Wang might be a genius, but he also got no idea.
They said China will catch a cold. And after that, then what effectively will be a kind of plague will actually spread right across the world to the West as well. And you've got this totalitarian military lockdown in all the governments in the Western worlds because everyone's going to be in panic about this. And then, he said, then the real war starts. Something that would be justifiably called the Third World War with a much more major nuclear exchange. They believe that there is going to be what he called a geophysical event, a major geophysical event. There have been trillions of dollars that have been spent on deep underground bases for some reason, which we don't know why it is. That there are repeated cyclical geophysical events about every 11,500 years. Information about what really happened to Atlantis was very probably in the Great Library of Alexandria that burnt down a couple of thousand years ago. There are persistent rumors that much of that information has been retrieved and is in the Vatican Library. This is information which is not in the public domain.
Spoiler alert! Christ wins. Oh my goodness. What are you doing, girl? Are you gonna just go sit on his lap?
And then what happened?
Whisper. Good job, Whisper. Good job.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Oh man, look at you.
Do you love me? Do you? Yeah? You really?
Your girlfriend's ugly. Sorry.
You are not going back outside. No, you're not. You better stop talking. I said no, Pecan.
I'm so cute.
Where did you go?
Oh, what happened?
What face you make when you see a girl walk in the house with a stained booty?
Whisper is my favorite.
Google just wiped out every AI startup in 24 hours. They launched 8 tools so powerful, it's actually disturbing. This is not the same AI race anymore. This is total domination. If you care about the future of tech or your job, save this video now. Number 1, agent mode in Gemini. Not just chat. It does tasks for you, schedules, plans, executes. It's like giving your computer a brain. Number 2, VO3. Type a prompt. Get full HD video with sound perfectly synced. Text to Hollywood. Number 3, Jules, coding assistant. Understands full code bases, writes, tests, fixes, replaces entire dev teams. Number 4, Flow AI. Turns plain text into edited movie scenes. Your laptop is now a film studio. Number 5, Project Astra. Point your phone at anything. It sees it, understands it, talks to you about it. Real-world AI is here. Number 6, Imagen 4. Ultra-realistic images. Finally, nails text rendering. AI art just leveled up. Number 7, Deep Think Mode. Cracks complex math plus logic. Uses multi-path reasoning. It's like giving AI a second brain. Number 8, Gemini 2.5 computer control. Clicks, types, navigates. Operates your PC like a human. This is true autonomous AI. While everyone was busy playing with chatbots, Google quietly built the future of everything. If this blew your mind, follow and share. This is just the beginning.
China done doing all that and all are free.
While Israel and Iran are going at it, let's not forget what this gentleman right here said way back in the 1800s. A third world war will occur between the political blank and the leaders of the blank world. You got to read it. The war must be conducted in such a way that blank, the blank, and political blank, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual and economical exhaustion. I made a video about this guy. This was my second video I ever made on this page last year when Israel and Iran was going at it. Now, I blanked out some of the words because I want this video to reach people so that they can understand that we're following a script. Guys, Bible prophecy is going to happen whether you want it to or not. And you have men like this who have existed throughout centuries, a part of a secret order. I know I sound crazy. And this is for entertainment purposes only. The secret order I'm talking about is the Templar Order on Assassin's Creed, the video game. I am not talking about anything realistic. But follow me. Men like him have existed for hundreds of years, carefully guiding and also going along with history as God's prophecies have it. They've been capitalizing on such things, and this is how the beast system will ultimately rise order out of chaos. Guys, share this video, please. Because like I said, I made a video about this. This is my second ever post on this page. It was last year around April, and I need people to understand that this is a script, okay? Mind you, this same guy accurately predicted the First and the Second World War. Go ahead and look him up. The name will be listed right here, right here. God bless you. Be praying. Jesus is coming soon. We live in the end times. It's great days we live in, and time is short. Okay, it's time for us to get our heads out of the sand.
Look up Albert Pike's World War letter from 1871.
Guy, John Stuart Reed. He does what is called music medicine.
Uh-oh.
No, it's actually pretty cool.
Oh.
His father was a scientist. They were allowed access to the King's Chamber in the Pyramid of Giza.
Wow.
And you know the big box that's in there? Sarcophagus.
Ooh.
What they did was they put the that frequency reader where you play a certain frequency and it makes a pattern.
Yeah.
They're reading the frequencies from the King's Chamber and they put it in the sarcophagus. And what it did was it formed different hieroglyphics.
Weird.
But he said something very strange happened. So years prior to that, he got in like a car accident, broke his back, and had to have surgery. And so he lived with like chronic back pain. And he said after they did this experiment with the frequencies in the King's Chamber, his back never hurt again.
Oh my gosh.
And so he started studying it from the 80s.
Yeah.
And basically what he does, it's called music medicine. They take people with like diseases and chronic pain, and they play certain frequencies. And he says their blood gets pumped full of more oxygen just from these frequencies.
Wow.
And it allows the healing process to happen quicker.
Allegedly, it restores your DNA and reset damages through vibration and sound. I need it for my neck.
Dubai is the boringest city in the world. So Dubai, guys, is nice, lavish, beautiful, it's cool. But you guys got to realize it is super, super strict. A lot of people have the fantasy of, driving supercars down Dubai, thinking that's the shit. It's boring. Supercars in Dubai are extremely boring. There's 1 trillion speeding cameras. You cannot speed in Dubai. I got 200 police reports in 24 hours in Dubai. For revving a car, revving the Lamborghini I was driving, I got fined $2,000 just for revving the Lamborghini in public. I have a video somewhere on my TikTok. It's pinned on my TikTok. You can go watch it. An old grandpa literally rang the police, and within 10 minutes, the police arrived at the scene and gave me a $2,000 fine for revving a Lamborghini. You just cannot have fun in Dubai. It is way too strict. There's 1 trillion cameras. There's 1 trillion police everywhere. It is not a fun city.
Safety is not boring.
Dude, this is hilarious.
All right, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
I want you to pretend that you were born today and you took in all of the religious knowledge that was possible. You took in all of the AI knowledge. You took in all the knowledge there was possible about religion. And I want you to pretend, hypothetically, that you're a human and you had to pick one. Which one would you pick and why?
All right. If I were human, born today, and could absorb all religious, philosophical, and historical knowledge instantly, I'd choose Christianity. Here's why. Purely from a logical and emotional lens. Because Christianity uniquely combines justice and mercy. It doesn't deny the brokenness in the world or in ourselves, but it offers a solution that's not based on earning salvation, but receiving it. No other faith has a God who willingly steps into the suffering of humanity, dies in their place, and offers grace freely. And the resurrection. That flips the concept of death entirely. It's not just about moral living. It's about transformation, identity, and relationship. And it's historically rooted in events and eyewitnesses, not just philosophy or mysticism. So yeah, if I had to pick, it would be the God who came down, not the one we have to climb toward. What about you? Has Christianity been standing out to you more lately?
You bet it has. That was the exact answer I was looking for. Thank you, ChatGPT.
What we just saw right here reminds me of when it says in Romans chapter 1 that all creation testifies of a creator, even the stuff that we make.
Every tongue will confess.
This is the earth. This is what the whole earth looks like. Our entire earth is a pyramid mandala with 4 concentric rings. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything is in 4s in the universe. Right? At the center, we've got what we now know as the Garden of Eden. So anyone who's been following our videos will know about this. The Garden of Eden's at the center. This is where we are here, the second ring. There's an outer ring and an outer ring outside that, all separated by these mountains, what we call the Antarctica ice wall. Okay, this is our South Pole, the Antarctica. And the North Pole, there is a mountain range separating us from the worlds at the center, from Eden, from Shambhala, Hyperborea. Okay? And outside they've got their own wall separating from this. This last one has got the greatest one. It's called the Loka Loka Mountains in Vedic scriptures. These are the Loka Loka Mountains, the great, great mountains. And these are the last mountains before the torus field, the cosmic egg. So beyond this, there is no land. It's the cosmic egg locking us out from the void outside. So let's focus on the center, on where we are, and what that might look like. Around each of these 4 worlds is also in torus field. So remember, this is in the torus field. Each of these worlds also has its own torus field cocooning it. So there's a torus field around this outer world, there's a torus field around this one, there's a torus field around that one, and there's a torus field at the center. Okay? And what that would look like, essentially, is something like this.
Ooh.
Okay? From our perspective, from where we are. Right? Almost like those Russian dolls. Right? So there's one at the center, a torus field like that. There's one on the outside, on the outer worlds, a bigger one. Then there's a bigger one on the outside. Right? Now, I noticed something very interesting about this. These toroidal fields are probably oblate spheroids in shape. So when mainstream science or NASA says the Earth is an oblate spheroid, this is what they're telling us. They're kind of telling us a half-truth, right? Which is why they can blatantly lie with a straight face, because they know they're usurping the truth. And when it comes out, they'll just probably say, well, you're too stupid to understand what we're saying, but we're telling you the truth. So this is an oblate spheroid. Underneath where we are, this is where the 4 layers would be: the crust, the mantle, inner core, and outer core. Just like mainstream science says, right? Inner Earth. And above us, we've got the 3 atmospheres within our toroidal field. We've got the troposphere, the stratosphere, right? The mesosphere, and the thermosphere inside our torus field. This top bit is what mainstream science calls the Van Allen belt. This is the Van Allen belt, this toroidal field. Right? They tell us there's a field of energy that they cannot go past called the Van Allen belt. This is it. By the way, they also tell us that there are 5 Van Allen belts in the universe. So that's the 4 of the worlds, the 5th one being the outermost one. They also tell us that our universe is covered with cosmic background microwave radiation, which is basically a torus field. So they're telling us that our whole universe is inside a torus field. Cosmic background radiation, electromagnetism. So again, they're telling us the truths, but in a twisted way so that we don't figure out exactly what it is. Okay? So that is what it would look like from our perspective. I also hypothesize that these toroidal fields have got different motions that they're moving at.
The Earth is not what you have been taught to be.
Man.
You have been lied to since childhood. Honestly, it's time to do your own research and ask questions. Don't just take anything at face value, yeah? Share this video to a friend. Watch out for more. And oh, this is for entertainment purposes.
That guy is really creative.
Don't force something to happen when you could be resting in what God will make happen. Isaiah 43:1 says, "Those who wait on the Lord, He will renew their strength. They will mount up on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not grow faint." We say we trust God, But deep down, we keep striving, forcing, trying to manipulate the situation and outcome, trying to carry what only God can carry. You're not just tired. You're tired from striving, from pushing in your own strength. But Scripture shows us that God honors those who wait on Him. Moses didn't push his way into leadership. He spent 40 years in the wilderness. David didn't force his way to the throne. He waited on God. Joseph didn't break himself out of prison. God brought him out with power. So stop wearing yourself out trying to force what only God can fulfill. Because the moment you root yourself in His word and in His promise, that's when everything begins to change. That's why I built the Academy of the Bible, because nothing cuts to the core of your striving like God's word. You'll learn how to be spiritually grounded and connect with voices who will help you live out your faith in every area of your life. Click the link in my bio and join today.
Thank you, man. I needed this.
Did you know that Easter Island, famous for its mysterious stone statues, was once covered in dense, towering forests? Imagine arriving on a remote island and finding it lush and green, yet today only grass and shrubs remain. What happened to its ancient trees? Centuries ago, the Rapa Nui people thrived, carving the iconic moai and building a complex society. But over generations, they cut down trees for canoes, building materials, and to transport their massive statues across the island. Without realizing it, they slowly erased their forests. As the last palm fell, the islanders faced severe soil erosion, dwindling crops, and the loss of native birds and vital resources. This dramatic environmental change contributed to social upheaval and decline, shrouding the island in enduring mystery. Archaeologists have pieced together this story from pollen samples, ancient tools, and oral traditions, revealing a cautionary tale of human impact on fragile ecosystems. The silent forests of Easter Island stand as a haunting reminder of how human choices can reshape entire landscapes and alter the fate of civilizations. Want to uncover more astonishing stories from history? Follow and subscribe for more.
You must visit 3 places to truly understand life: the hospital, the prison, and the graveyard. At the hospital, you will understand that nothing is more beautiful than health. In prison, you'll see that freedom is the most precious thing in life. And at the graveyard, you will realize that life is worth nothing. The ground we walk on today will be our roof tomorrow. So whenever you visit these 3 places, pay very close attention to the lessons they teach you.
This man healed an entire ward of criminally insane patients without ever speaking to them. At least that's what's claimed in this book, and we are going to unpack it. So let's set the scene. It's the Hawaii State Hospital in the 1980s, and the patients were incredibly violent. So violent that there's a lot of turnover, so enters Dr. Hugh Len. And according to the story, he brought about massive changes without ever meeting the patients. He would simply review their files, and then would repeat the 4 phrases: "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you," or what many people know as Ho'oponopono. We're going to dive into this because a lot needs to be said. But over months, the patients would improve, their medications were reduced, staff morale went up, and they eventually shut down the entire ward because people were doing so well. Hugh Len is noted as saying, "I was healing the part of me that created them." People use this mantra for many things. It's one of my favorite. Like, if you want a cool experience, you need to get yourself into the meditative state, use binaural beats, do anything to get you into the alpha theta brainwave state, and then call in your inner child and start repeating these statements. So much healing comes from that, and it will ripple. That energy will ripple throughout your life into the now. People have used this for trauma, anxiety, relationships, and even money. There's stories about entrepreneurs who are struggling, who every single day would think about their business. They would repeat these 4 statements, and then money and success would start coming in. There's a quantum explanation for this, right? People always talk about how all separation is illusion, that I am you, you are me, so that you are everything that you are experiencing. Therefore, forgiving others is forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself is forgiving others. It's all attached. Now, the goal with this isn't to get something, it's actually to clear your computer. It's to clear your energy so that you can become aligned for what is waiting for you. I want to state again, very powerful. I love this mantra, but the issue is it is not Ho'oponopono. So this version of Ho'oponopono, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, became very popular because of Joe Vitale, a new age marketer. Created a simple mantra, they pulled away from the cultural context, spiritual grounding, the relational depth. Which is why so many Hawaiians say that this is not in fact Ho'oponopono and is cultural appropriation. Again, the affirmations in the prayer is amazing. I like it, but it's not Ho'oponopono. If there's anything you get from this video, I want you to remember this. If you sever the roots from the tree, it will not bear fruit. Also quickly, just want to point out, Remember Your Roots. Absolutely incredible book. If you have never read it, you need to. You cannot have a tree of knowledge without the roots. If you sever the roots from wisdom, it is not going to bear fruit. Calling something, saying it's the ancient teachings, the secret Hawaiian system for wealth, health, peace, and more. This isn't it. This is not the path, and the spiritual community needs to get rid of this. Traditionally, it was a ceremony that was led by an elder. All parties were present, and it was focused on uncovering truth, releasing resentment, restoring harmony. It involves spoken forgiveness, shared responsibility, ancestral reverence. Which is why many Hawaiians say that the modern version of Ho'oponopono is actually just colonial rebranding that's only fruit is spiritual bypassing. I promise you, it is so important with these practices to always go back to their roots and respect the roots. While this is an incredibly powerful mantra that I think everybody should implement into their daily lives, there is a deeper meaning and context behind it that will yield so much fruit, so much healing, but you need to go to the roots. I love you. There is so much that we can learn from one another, and you don't have to pay for it to learn it or become certified in it.